Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to some more Kerbal Space Program 2. There is one more thing What the hell, green screen? Something with the, something with this new build. The camera keeps resetting itself. Some of my settings. I don't know why, in between loads. There we go. White balance might be a little bit off. Don't I look a little pink? I mean, sometimes I get red in the face, but I think that's a little... Maybe a little bit more here. We'll call that good enough and pretend that I don't look terrible. There, look pink and green? Well, the green part would work with Kerbal, wouldn't it? Yeah. So yeah, KSP2, kind of a hot mess in the state that it's in. For proper, real campaign gameplay type stuff, I definitely want to go back to KSP1. In fact, we might end up doing some of that modded KSP1 today. We'll see. But there's one more thing I did want to check out in KSP2, and that's to build a space plane, which should be fine. Should be perfectly enjoyable and great. So we'll give that a go and see how those mechanics work or are changed in here. Space planes are not something I've done a lot in KSP because I normally play in career mode, and a lot of the stuff that you need to unlock space planes happens quite late in the tech tree. In addition to that, space planes are mostly just interesting and fun more than truly useful. And so if you're trying to progress through, like, you know, the tech tree and accumulate science and things like that, I'd argue there's not that much actual use for a space plane. Is voice sync off for anyone else? That's weird. Also, am I transparent? Oh, there is a little transparency there. That's okay. Let me adjust the color key here. Might get a little bit more of a green border, but I won't be as transparent anymore. Okay, can't see the planet through me anymore. Yeah, voice sync's okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, it should be fine. If anyone, you know, voice sync sounds a little... There might be a slight difference in this video driver or sound driver. There might be a slight difference going on there. I won't mess with it here, but I'll be sure to check that sort of thing later. For now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make my face a little smaller so you won't notice the the lip sync quite as much. Pay attention to the game. It's going to be fine. And yeah, if you can also refresh too, because sometimes it's Twitch itself that gets a little bit out of whack. Can't fool us. We can see straight through. The other thing as well is, so those of you who aren't on the Discord or don't follow on Twitter, so we did a poll today to see if people wanted Kerbal versus Dwarf Fortress, and Kerbal did win, which is a good thing because the Dwarf Fortress save that we started last week is gone. In making the move to this new computer, that DF save went away, and the reason is that Dwarf Fortress... I'm going to adjust my color balance. It does seem a little off. Dwarf Fortress doesn't save its files in a normal place. It gets saved in the actual, like, installation folder, in the binary folder in Steam, which is very unusual. It's not the way it's supposed to be done. It's a side effect of how it used to work. It's sort of an importable thing where it just runs on a single folder. And so in making things over and resetting some of the hard drives and stuff like that, like the Steam install folder, I was like, okay, I'm gonna reset this and refresh this. So I'm gonna do fresh reinstalls of games and things like that and make it okay. But yeah, when you delete that folder, when you uninstall Dwarf Fortress, that folder where the game is installed is also where the saves are. Nothing works like that. Usually the games get stored in your documents folder, sometimes directly, so like you've got your my documents / Paradox Interactive, sometimes it's under my documents / my games, and probably the more proper way of doing it is in your app data sort of hidden folder kind of thing, in either the roaming or local low or things, depends on your profile setup and different things like that. So all my games that are saved in a normal way are there. And here's the thing, you're like, oh well, what about Steam Cloud saves? Yeah, that would be great, except because Dwarf Fortress doesn't save its saves in a conventional way, it doesn't use Steam Cloud saves. So when I reinstalled Dwarf Fortress, it said, like, you know, syncing to the Steam Cloud, but nothing happens because there's nothing stored in there. So yeah, so that volcano embark from last week is gone. We'll probably do another volcano embark using some of the lessons that we learned the first time around. So we'll see. Yeah, saves and game subdirectories is old school. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when a game's like started development like 20 years ago kind of thing. I mean, knowing now we can do, yeah, we can back up the folder, we can set up things, but it wasn't something I was thinking about because, yeah, now you could mirror it to, I do have a network attached storage, I do use offsite backups, but again, my offsite backup program, I explicitly exclude the Steam directory because that's not something that should need to be backed up. You can just like, it should just be the game installation. You can just go into Steam and hit install again. So to save bandwidth and save storage space and stuff, I'm like, or mostly to save for my computer just constantly crunching in the background and processing all these like massive amounts of files in the Steam install. I say don't bother backing that up to the cloud because it's not necessary. And it's not, except for Dwarf Fortress. So that's the way it goes sometimes. So in the end, there was double reasons that we're going to do Kerbal today. So one was that people voted for it, and two, well, DF wasn't necessarily going to work out anyway. We're going to have to start something regardless. So, boom, 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 boom. Save games install forward perfectly normal when it's 18. Yeah, I mean, it used to be all about, like, keeping all the data within the game folder, and there is something nice about that. Having everything self-contained in a single portable folder makes it easy to maybe transfer the whole game to another computer, and also doesn't, like, pollute your hard drives for putting things everywhere else. But the reason that app data, like my documents first and then app data now, has become more prevalent is because a lot of those things get automatically synchronized to some sort of cloud save. Also, it allows for per user saves, right? The problem is if your save data is being stored in the actual like install folder, then if you have multiple users on the same computer, you end up in a situation where what one person does affects another person's experience. I'm just going to change. I was just noticing, first of all, the color is still a little off, and I was noticing there was a little bit of a green screen bleed through. There we go. Now it should be better. Yeah, I think I have to get a new webcam because with the webcam the way it is now, this webcam here, it keeps losing its settings every time I bop out of OBS, or God forbid I reboot the computer. So I got to reset the balance and stuff. It's not saving the webcam settings. It's not OBS. It's the webcam driver itself not keeping its settings for brightness and things in between loads, which is frustrating. So yeah, we'll take a look at something else. New mic. This mic has been around. I bought it in December. I did some tuning for the audio in January. The audio, because the sound driver on this computer is a little bit different, the way it inputs is a little bit different, but it's the same mic. It might be slightly different, just because the way the levels come in is slightly different, but otherwise the setup should be the same. So we'll see. Well, Rhyme, everyone's got different things, and people pay different attention to different stuff. You have an NVIDIA 1080 will work for me. So KSP2, I actually played it on the 1080, which is what my previous computer had right before, like, 2 days ago when I put this one together. It ran on 1080. It didn't run well, but it did run. So, yeah. You got 30 FPS by playing 1440. Yeah, and it really depends on what you're looking at. When you're in space, things run pretty well. When you're looking down to the ground, it's really bad. People have been tearing apart the game on Reddit and analyzing things, and there's a bunch of things. Like, I guess a lot of the 2D planes, which includes a lot of like the decal objects, as well as little like lights and things around the runway and stuff like that. It looks like the devs used like the default Unity plane object as opposed to a quad. The Unity plane object has 600 triangles in it, and a quad has 2 triangles. It also looks like the draw calls aren't really being batched together, which is like your video cards can generate like millions of triangles per frame, like really, really quickly. But each individual draw call is actually a fairly expensive operation to do. So if they're not being batched properly, it can slow things down. It looks like there's a lot of lacking optimization in there. But from a point of view of like, this seems like something you should have done earlier. Especially, remember, the original release date for KSP2 was announced for 2020. Then it was pushed back to 2021. And here we are in 2023 with early access that is really janky. I mean, I'm very disappointed, but yeah. Well, we'll make do. So we're going to try today to make a space plane, a single stage to orbit space plane, because it's actually kind of a tricky, challenging thing to do. And it's not necessarily something that in practice is that useful. So it's mostly something you do as a challenge rather than something that is kind of important. So let's quickly read the subs and resubs, and then we'll start building the space plane over here. We've got a resub from True Echo. Hey, at 11 months. Thank you very much. Ooh, a prime resub. Yeah. J-Thing. Actually, it doesn't. True Echo doesn't actually list it as a prime resub for you. J-Thing is resub with prime for 22 their 22nd month. Gradfian is at 17 months. St. Christopher, a 1-year Twitch anniversary at 12 months. And just before that, we had J-Lass with a 2-year Twitch anniversary at 24 months. And it's not a Twitch anniversary, but it is an awfully pretty round number. Erixit, 100 months with Erixit. Thank you very much. Rio Diego's here at 61 months. Full Paul's at 24, another Twitch anniversary. Tabin is at 77 months. So Tabin is a triplet, right? Snivia is at 85 months. Judas is at 34. Bowen Carmack, 6 months total. Aero Engineer is at 82 months. Good name for our run today, Aero Engineer Nerd. That Ifrit guy's at 56 months. Ovid Cat's at 56 as well. MJ's at 82. Indecisive, 49 months. Thank you very much for all that. And just now we got Paul E. Esther at 14 months and Clow Windwing, 39. All right, let's build a space plane. Excuse me. So, I want to start with a cool cockpit. I think we're going to use this cockpit as a start. So this is going to define the sort of cross-section ratio that we've got. There's a lot of really cool looking space plane bits that look like this. Of course, there's no requirement for everything. We can make our space plane be run by a tin can, but we obviously want it to look super cool. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insist that we bring some sort of payload with us. I do like this decoupler over here is quite cool, but we're not going to do that. Actually, sorry, that's not a decoupler, that's a probe core, which we could install in here, but we're going to have pilots and things. It's not going to matter. It could be useful for a campaign kind of playthrough, especially if you need certain experience levels to unlock your advanced SAS modes. Then it's quite nice to throw an advanced probe core in there in case your pilot's not high enough level, but it's all moot here in sandbox mode. We've got everything unlocked and everything, so I don't think we need to do that. Part of me is like, we could put another reaction wheel in here too. I'm assuming that this cockpit has a reaction wheel, but maybe not. It's not listing it in here. Does it actually list it in the specs? Oh, because the tin can definitely has a reaction wheel built in. It specifies it in description, but doesn't actually list it in the specs. Yeah, currently Sandbox is the only game mode for KSP2. No career mode, no science currently in there, though it is one of the things they're trying to go. Oh, shift for more info. Thank you! Ah, there we go. I love having all you around. Is there only... It says one crew required. Yeah, okay, it does have seats for more than one crew. Oh, and it's just a toggle. You don't even have to hold shift. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so it does have a reaction wheel, which is good. Maybe we want more, but hopefully not. So let's set up a payload bay. Yeah. That there. And what I'm going to do is I'll probably put some sort of just dummy weight in here. But the idea is we could use this to deliver a satellite to orbit and then return home. You know, and the thing is single stage orbit. We don't want to use disposable boosters. We want to be able to bring the entire space plane back minus the fuel that we burned. And that's it. Yeah, cargo ramp, that's not the backside of this. Yeah, do we have a piece that'll like close this in nicely? Maybe under structures? We must have a piece that'll look nice on the ass end of this thing, right? Do we have a funky fuel tank that fits there? Oh. Yeah, we do. Nice. What does this fuel tank hold? Methalox. Okay. Because that's going to be really important, because one of the things... I guess the other thing I could do is I could have the... I could go and have this as well, and we could mount the two engines back there, but I don't think that's what I want. I also think we might end up making this longer. I think we will end up with more stability for what we're trying to do here with a longer whole thing. Is there... Okay, so we got that. What else do we have here? Oh, it's a longer one. Well, that actually might give me the length I'm looking for. Now, these all have methalox, but do we also have a pure methane one of this ratio? We do. So I think we're going to add some more fuel tanks, but let's get started with something like this as a base. What I was thinking of, and I'm just going to put a random fuel tank in there, although I don't want it to count as part of our fuel load. I just want to add a dummy weight in here. What would I do? What I can do is I can throw in like a docking port, because that's going to be the idea. Is a docking port in here that'll be used to hold the satellite. But if I've done that, the docking port... let me go with this. I suspect a weight like this is going to be fine. The docking port, we're just going to make sure it doesn't have any fuel cross-feed. There we go. So we're going to turn that off. So the fuel tank that's in here is just acting as a dummy weight. We don't actually get to use it for anything, but it's going to simulate the payload that we're going to be potentially carrying. You know, one could imagine, right, with this payload over here, we could throw in a probe core and, oh yeah, in KSP1 you use an ore tank. Yeah, that's true. But here we could throw on a probe core and a couple of little radial rockets, and we would have a satellite and a solar panel on there or something like that. And we wouldn't use a fuel tank this big. We wouldn't need it because it's going to be a light little thing. So a tiny little bit of fuel is all it's going to need to move things around. But I'll just use it as dummy for now. We might end up actually building a proper satellite at some point to do the deployment mission. But for now, I'm happy to just have it as a dummy weight that doesn't do anything. Okay, so let's look at our winglings over here. Now, how large is large? It's pretty big. I think what I want to do is I want to use the medium wing, but then go into the procedural system over here to make the wings... You know what? Do we want maybe more delta wing-ish? Do we want to make it look a little bit like the Blackbird, or what's the name of that plane from Top Gun Maverick? The Dark Star? I mean, we could even paint the whole thing black. So if we increase the root length, that is making the control surface scaling up as well, which, oh, those can be scaled down. Deal with the position is just, okay, left and right, yeah. Having a hard time seeing where the cut is. Okay, it's a little easier to see on the other side from a specific angle. There we go. Wow, 0. I mean, it's clearly not 0, though. Visually, it still has a pretty big control surface. The question is whether or not it actually works with a number 0 in there. Visually, it looks like it should work. I guess we won't find out until we actually get out there, which is a little terrifying. But we'll see. I'll do this, I think, for my, my tail wing. Now, what's the correct tail to use here? Because these, I think these are static. Conversion. Deploy. Wiggly one. It also has to be rotated to match this piece because it's pointing backwards right now. But I can't tell if this acts as a control surface. Some of these numbers here make me feel like it is. What is the deploy on this? I don't know. I mean, it's called control surface, so it must, right? Let's just throw ourselves onto the launch pad here and just see if these things move. So let's make a new workspace. I guess it doesn't matter, I only have the one save, but still. So if we launch here, yeah, we'll just be on the ground. That's going to be okay. All right. That looks okay to me. I think I'm fine with that. Yeah, control surface, the whole thing moves, which is probably okay. All right, I think I'm fine with this. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do. All right, so we've got some fuel in here, but what I was thinking is it would look quite cool. Now, we need a mix for what we're going to do. We need a mix of pure methane, which is what we're going to use when our engines, we're using jet engines. So while we're in atmosphere, we can operate those jet engines in air breather mode. They are very, very, very fuel efficient that way. And we can just burn pure methane for that. Once we get too high up, the atmosphere is going to get so thin, and especially once we get in space, there's going to be no air to breathe for engines, so they will change mode and operate like rocket engines, in which case we'll use the oxidizer, the oxygen that's part of these methalox tanks, to do that. It will burn through our fuel quite a bit more rapidly, but it'll help give us that final oomph along the way. Now, I have one fuel tank in here that's pure methane, and another one that's a methalox mix. I think we're going to need more fuel, so what I was thinking is we'll throw in something like this. We'll probably move it a little bit more, but that's a methalox tank, and then we'll throw in a methane tank. We don't need as much methane as we do like the methalox mix, but we'll do this. So altogether, I'm going to say that maybe a third of our fuel load is pure methane, and the other 2/3, ballparking it, is a methane oxidizer mix, which seems like an okay kind of number. No idea. We might bring these wings quite down a bit. I don't think we actually need this much lift, especially for some of a rocket thing. There's a good chance that we'll be bringing the wingspan down quite a lot. Plus, I mean, already it's looking kind of cooler, right? Now, we are going to need an air intake for our jet engines while they're in air breathing mode. And I think the one we want is the shock cone intake for maximum. Yeah, you can see here the efficiency is 100% all the way through Mach 5. And I don't know what happens beyond that for efficiency. But if we compare these other intakes, and this is great, we're getting, this information is so much clearer than it used to be. This is really handy. So clearly, if we need something that can support like any speed whatsoever, and here it specifically mentions in the description high-speed jets and single stage to orbits. So that's what we're going to be grabbing here, is doing something like that. And then on the back end for our engines over here, under the jet engine category, which is a little bit misleading, oh, no, it is under the Methalox category. There we go. So the Rapier engine over here. So this is a hybrid engine that can toggle between an air-breathing mode and a what they call the closed cycle over there, which is when it turns into a rocket engine kind of vibe. So if we throw a couple of those back there, we will now be able to alternate between the two modes. I think we're going to take this fuel tank and scooch it up a little bit more, mostly for cosmetic purposes. And you know what I think I'm going to do? Again, just purely for cosmetic purposes, is something like this. And I can move it up, but I could also shrink the root of this wing so it doesn't look bad there. It doesn't actually matter for the gameplay and stuff. Actually, I think what I'll do is move the wings back a little more. Oh, right, you're bound to the wing. We're going to have to check the center of mass and lift in a second here. Let's do that. I think I am going to shrink the wing anyway. Wait, I'm confused. Is this my wing? Where's my... Oh, right, it's this button. So if I just shrink the root length a little, there we go. It'll look better. Whether it's the right thing for our plane, we'll see. We'll play with it in a second. There. So now, it just doesn't look... we get a little bit of visual clipping there, but I think we're going to deal with that just fine. It feels like there should be something right on the back here. I could throw another rapier engine back here, but if we've got enough thrust now, the extra rapier engine won't necessarily help us. It itself has weight, so if we don't need more thrust, adding an extra engine will actually make our situation worse. So we'll see. Landing gear. I'm going to use some fairly beefy landing gear here because otherwise we do sometimes run into bizarre issues. We'll put a docking port on the back. RCS, I don't know if we need RCS. That is interesting to consider, though. So I'll use another medium one in the front. No mirror mode. Snap to center. And then, yeah, this is such a good mode. Actually, I'm just realizing I don't know if the workshop orientation was set correctly. But I guess it doesn't matter. No, maybe it is on the lying down mode. Maybe it went there automatically when I grabbed that cockpit. So what I'm going to do is grab the whole plane here. And just get it so that one of these wheel sets... Let's say this front wheel is aligned there. And then I can grab this, hold shift, and do that. If I line this up, it looks like these are a little shorter than that, which is good because it should... I want my plane to have just a slight, tiny bit of nose up while it's casually sitting on the runway, which is, to me, looks like what we've got over here. Hey. Oh, there's a window there. That's really cool. We don't have internal cameras yet, which is unfortunate because the interior of this is clearly currently rendered, and I do love to see the first-person kind of vibe. Okay, first of all, is there anything that we think I've missed to just make this run? I haven't seen our power supply go down. I don't know if that's simulated, but I suppose it wouldn't be a bad idea for when we're in space, when our engines are idle, to throw down some solar panels. Right, I want the radial symmetry. There we go, top and bottom. Just a little bit. Yeah, we do need lights, you're right. How could I possibly forget safety lights? Or unsafety lights? I mean, we literally can do nav lights on this plane. Okay, I have to place these unlinked, which is a little bit annoying. I mean, I guess they literally have one that's called navigation light. So if we go and put one on each wingtip here. But yeah, if I set a color, it's going to set for both. After I've placed it, can I break symmetry? I guess not, huh? So I will have to go and set this to 1 and just try to put it in the same place on both sides. Which sounds like something I'm terrible at, but that's pretty close. We're going to call it good enough for Kerbals. So, does anyone remember the green light on a plane, is it on the left or right? So there's green and red, and then I think we have a white light in the front. I think that clipped in an odd place. I'm having a... Is that centered? Okay, now it's centered. Is that inside the plane? Or is that on the bottom?
Chocolate.
I guess actually the bottom was fine. All right, we'll throw it in there and lose it. Oh, there it is. We got whiskey and chocolate. Hold on a sec. I want to keep looking at the plane. How do I... So, okay. Holding down the mouse, the right mouse button, lets me sort of pan up and down. How can I pan left and right? Okay, that is visible. So this light's going to be enabled. That one's going to be white. Left equals red when looking back to front. Okay. Thank you. Hang on. I know this... 1 second, the whiskey and chocolate, I promise. Left red. And I guess these should blink. Or do they? No, the nav lights don't blink. Right? green, and then white at the front. Solid lights, yeah. Now we can give ourselves a beacon or a strobe light. But I think we'll just do this. So, oh, there you go. I can see the green. Oh, you're a blinking white light. Okay, you should now be a solid red. There you go. Solid red, solid green, and the front light is just on the default, so it's doing white light with no blinking. Okay, there you go. You know, we don't want to get yelled at by the Kerbal equivalent to the FAA. That would be bad. Wingtip lights are solid, beacon lights at the top of the tail under the belly blink. Yeah. I guess we should get beacon lights. Now, I don't think of beacon lights as blinking orange. But I'm thinking that that's like the beacon light on like the top of the Cessna 172, right? KFAA. KAA, Kerbal Air Authority. I like that. No, I'll go blinking white light. No, I did not want to grab you. I want to grab this light specifically. Thank you. We'll put it right behind there. Okay. I think we have enough lights to be safety lights now. Should we just try and see what the status is? I'm sure we're going to need to make some serious ajustements over here. We could probably center up the center of lift a little bit. Now, as we burn fuel, a lot of the fuel is in the back here. So as it burns, it's going to move the center of gravity further forward. Some of it's in here as well. But yeah, I think we can move the wings forward and get these a little bit more centered up. Now, no, I'm being silly. Move the wings back. Although that is doing a lot for moving the center of weight as well. Yeah, that makes sense. Because there's a lot of weight on the wings. So it doesn't actually matter where I put it in the end. Well, the further back I go, the closer it is anyway. Ish, maybe. You know what? We'll just give it a try and see what happens. What do we want to color this plane? That is an excellent question. And also, so, okay, if I go to part, am I going to be painting individual parts? Hold on. If I do this, yes. Whereas assembly, there. I mean, solid black? That does look really badass. That does look really badass. Yeah. I think, yeah, we could go with a red plane, but if we see a red plane, we've got to paint black. Red racing stripe. Oh, we could try a red accent piece. Especially like just limited to parts. So right down here. Oh, this back part doesn't have a red accent. Doesn't have an accent part. Oh, that's disappointing. So we can't have the red streak go all the way down. But we can't. Oh, oh, this part's upside down. How much is that going to break if I do that? Not that much, actually. Hold on. So we grab this, we rotate it. We put these control surfaces back on there. And then this light gets put back there. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens. Again, planes are like the #1 way to kill Kerbals. So there's a very good chance, especially on our very first thing. First of all, there's a very good chance it's just going to randomly veer off the runway. But we'll see what happens. There's no staging to do. Some random Kerbal's going to get assigned to this. We're going to... look at it. The SAS does not know how to deal with airplanes. So let's go ahead and turn that off. All right. Oh, hang on. There's something I have to do. I have to hotkey our mode change on the engines. Flappy Bird. Thank you for reminding me again, the whiskey and chocolate. I kept putting it off. We got whiskey and chocolate from that one weird kid. Thank you very much for that. Oh, more KSP2. Would have been here sooner, but I was reading an article about how they found a new mummy in Egypt. Weirdly, though, he's covered in chocolate and nuts. They call him Pharaoh Rocher. All that time, all that buildup, all that waiting for me to read the whiskey and chocolate. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Action groups. Action group manager. So on the 1 key. Oh, do I just select from here? No, there we go. Can I click now? No. Do I right click? Oh, there it goes. Okay. I had opened the engine category, hadn't I? And it was empty? No, maybe I hadn't actually opened it. I must have misclicked. You know what? I thought maybe I selected the thing instead of clicking. I thought I clicked on it, but apparently I was wrong. There we go. Cycle mode. Cycle mode. There we go. So when we hit the 1 key, it's going to alternate between the air breathing mode and the rocket engine mode. Okay. All right, turn off the SAS again. All right, throttle full. And we are in air breathing mode. Good. Leave that up over here. Okay, so far, I mean, I've got hands off control. Looks like we are drifting to left. It likes to do that for some reason. I don't know what our rotate speed is, but if we pitch up now, no. 90? 100? Okay, I might not have enough control authority here, because I'm betting we could take off. We're probably, the wheels might have to be moved forward so we can actually tip up properly. There's no way we're not flying right now. Yeah, it's becoming more and more unstable here because of this ridiculous speed. I mean, we're 2/3 supersonic here. Yeah, my wheels have to move further back. A lot of times in KSP1, you at the end of the runway, there's a little bit of a downhill. So it finally gave you the ability to tip up your plane. There you go. Now we're fine. So yeah, we'll have to, and now I can probably turn on the SAS. There we go. It's a little bit more stable. But yeah, we'll have to make it so that we can rock down a little bit. But, positive rate, gears up. We're already going, what's the speed of sound? Right around here, right? Aren't we going transonic? Kind of now-ish? Okay, let's, pitch up here, and then we get the weird cloud effect. So we're going to climb just under Mach speeds. Actually, that would be useful to have a little Mach display on this. We'll climb to, I don't know, something like 10,000 feet. Then we'll level out, and, wow, speed is climbing. Then we'll level out and try to build some speed. We'll go transonic, and then start a climb again. So that's a very standard kind of ascent profile for a single stage to orbit. The idea is get out of the thickest air, so you get to the point... the little white heat over here, I thought we were getting icing. Yeah, get out of the thicker air, then go horizontal to build speed, because your rocket engines actually become more efficient the faster you go, because your air intakes are able to scoop in more air. So we'll build up speed, which will let us get past a critical speed point, and then we'll start climbing in, and at some point, the engines will undergo a second phase where they start to be less and less useful, and then that's when we'll switch them over to the closed cycle. Yes, we actually see air as a stat over here, which is interesting. All right, coming up on 10,000. Just an arbitrary number I picked. 10,000 meters, 30,000 feet.
It's whiskey and
Try to
chocolate.
transition to level flight, and our speed should increase. Derek Ryan, thank you very much for that. Finally caught a live stream. Here's to your new computer build. Thank you very much. Hopefully it will bring us many, many great things. Yeah, if I said feet earlier, I misspoke. I know it's 10,000 meters. I do play a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator, so it's my habit to report altitude in feet, which is still the default. Okay, speed's not really climbing like I thought it would. I feel like we're having a hard time breaking the sound barrier, which is right where we're hovering right now. I could go into a dive. So there's two possibilities. One, I could climb to thinner altitude, like thinner air, and see if that like improves our flight. We could also dive to break the sound barrier. But I think we'll, I know we are currently climbing, which is part of the reason. But I think what we'll do is we'll go into an actual, whoa! 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 Okay there, plane. It really wanted to go into backflip mode, which if you're normally experiencing that sort of backflipping, that's usually a sign that your center of lift is in front of your center of mass, which isn't what you want. Ours is behind the mass, right? Or no, it's not actually. Okay, so we'll climb some more. We'll climb to like 15,000. Although you can see our thrust of our engines. Actually, there you go. Our thrust is going up. Oh, we're currently descending. Wow, even though we're up pitch, we're descending. We might need a third engine to give us a little bit more oomph. We'll see. Yeah, right now our Delta V is like reporting huge numbers because we are just in air breathing mode. Yeah, we might need it. Okay, I'm gonna try to do a dip here. Build speed. And again, you can see our engine thrust is getting better. The faster we go, the faster we go. All right, 400 meters per second. So what I'm wondering now is maybe what we do on our next launch is do something like climb to 15,000, then dive to 10,000 to build up speed. So yeah, the thrust is increasing. Speed is now crossing 300 meters per second. All right. Whoa! Oh, it wants to backflip. It really wants to backflip. And because we went so far like that, we basically just did an air braking move. Okay, let's return here. But I'm actually surprised at how well it's doing as is. I'm really surprised at how well it's doing as is. We'll add the third engine. We'll also see if we can scooch the rear landing gear forward so that we can actually do sort of a tip up. Actually get our rotate going on. Although we have to be a little bit careful about tail strikes. Nope. So I'll throw you in, which, oh, I gotta remember to add you as well to the Ashen Group Manager, Custom 1. Oh! Maybe it copied it because those already had it. So when I copied it over, it grabbed that. So that's good. Because it says, hey, the engine view is empty again, but that's okay. Okay, the lift is behind, though maybe it needs to be more, but which will happen a little as we move these. I was saying I was moving them back, but no, I got to move them forward. Ideally, yeah, right. Remember now, with the center of mass, we kind of want the wheels to be just behind, but not by much. Because if they're in front, then the whole thing will just, as soon as we start and load in, it'll just kip up like this. We'll do that. We do have to be worried about a tail strike. But I'm sure I won't do that, right? Yeah, you're right. We'll make the control surfaces on the wings bigger. I forgot that, like, I was setting it visually, and it ended up being set at a 0, which it turns out it does work on a 0. Oh, no, that's not it. It's this button. But yeah, we'll make them... Oh, that's the span. We'll give them some length over here. Although, no matter what the control surface, if it like literally couldn't sort of lever itself up because of the wheels, we still weren't going to get it. But I think we'll be happier with a little bit more. Okay, let's see what this does. Yeah, turning off the friction on the front wheel is often a thing to do in vanilla, and might still be good here, but I don't know, I'll leave it. So far, we're okay. Hey, Torgo, thank you. Prevent tail strikes, but paying tail workers good wages. That sounds like socialist Kerbal talk to me. So SAS off so we don't get the flapping anymore. Yeah, there's no trim setting. Okay, powers to full. Let's try this again. And yeah, I'll climb to 15,000 and then initiate the dip. Okay, I haven't done anything yet. Looks like we're drifting a little to the left this time. Winds might have shifted. That's not how it works. And come on. No, it still can't. No, there it is. Oh. I just didn't want to pitch back too far because I was worried about a tail strike. There we are. Gear up. And let's do an aggressive climb here. Maybe I'll climb at like flight level change 200. Wow, we could almost go straight up. Our speed is still climbing. That's crazy. And then let me pop up one of these so we can see the engine stats. Okay. I'll let it... I'm actually not putting in any inputs right now. It's starting to pitch down. I wonder if we can do a supersonic climb. There's no inputs. So yeah, we're past Mach 1. We've broken the sound barrier. Engine power is going up while we're climbing. Yeah, I think the third engine was probably quite good. All right, that's 10,000 meters. Speed's climbing, as are we. Rapier engine continues to grow. This is really good. Oh yeah, caps lock refined control mode. That's a good point. Although I kind of like the rhythmic tapping for whatever reason. But yeah, if I turn on caps lock... That is kind of nice, actually. I just have to remember to turn it off if something goes bad. I love our little vertices. There you go. Crossing Mach 3. Okay, Rapier power is finally decreasing. But yeah, we're still on a good climb. Speed keeps going up. Starting to see the curvature of Kerbal here. Just realized we were in a slight roll. Speed continues to climb. 18,000 meters. I wonder if we'll see this air meter go down when we actually start to lose air. But yeah, we are losing power. Speed continues to grow, which is great. I don't know where our transition point's going to be. Yeah, Action 3 is in the... I guess we're stalling. I guess that's our transition point right there, because I think our engines just started stalling. So I have now gone to closed cycle. So now the power is going to be the same throughout because we don't have any air breathing happening. Speed continues to climb, which is great. Yeah, you know what? Now I'm going to turn off caps lock because the controls were too fine at the thinner altitude. We need more intense controls here. Okay, let's turn on SAS, which I didn't realize was turned off. That should help us maintain our pitch and roll. All right, let's see what happens. My Delta V is going to run out any second now. I think we didn't pack enough oxidizer. Yeah, we're going to run out of oxidizer here. Done. Oh, I didn't... Hold on. I didn't realize we were already going to space. Or because I was just, you know, flying the plane, right? Watching the speed and the ground. Our APWAPS is 185 right now. We're going to coast to space. We won't have any fuel to return. And we have tons of liquid fuel left. Okay, so now we know we can get there. In fact, we overshot it. It's possible the second ascent profile wasn't that, or the ascent profile wasn't that good. That's entirely possible. But overall, it's quite good. So let's replace... Maybe I'll replace these two tanks here with the methox tank. We still have one right over here. This is pure liquid fuel. We'll place those two, and also we'll be able to stop at a certain point. I think I'm going to paint you all black, but throw you on here. Not parts manager. Oh, over here. Color manager. There we are. Any other change we feel is necessary? I don't think so. Can I change the default control range on these? I could lower the authority, like the maximum amount of tip it could go to like 10% or 10 degrees. Because I don't think we ever really need that much. Wait, do we need fuel lines? I actually don't know. No, these... Because there's no staging. They should all be physically linked together. We shouldn't need any fuel lines. All 6 fuel tanks that we've got on the ship should all be interconnected because they're all physically part of the same component with no separators between them. We could throw RCS on, but the thing is we have a reaction wheel in the front, so we should be able to turn in space. I do wonder if we need another intake. The problem is there's not a good place to put another spike intake, and the other intakes are pointless. The only thing we want is another one of these intakes, and placing it anywhere would be a little awkward, although I could maybe put like an extra fuel tank right here. I think we're gonna try this. You could clip it into something. That's actually a great point. Now, I don't know if we need 1 air intake per, but you're right. Let's just clip it into something for the visuals. The type of intake does matter because at the higher Mach speeds, the intakes other than the spike, they do lose efficiency. At least it's written on the info card. Presumably, that actually does a thing. Hopefully they're not lying to us about it. But yeah, this is the only one that still has 100% air intake efficiency at Mach 5. So, oh, that's funny. Oh, because that's inside the cargo bay. Right, I'd have to attach like a structural part here, attach this to that, and then clip the structural part. But if I just put it inside the cargo bay, I wonder if that works. I wonder if it'll breathe air there. I know that it would if we attached it to the outside and then clipped it in. I guess we'll be able to track it in flight. We turn off the SAS because it's dumb. Open the cargo bay doors. There you go. This intake here. So now close this again.
Hey, Quill, pay attention.
Oh, occluded. No. Oh. Now that might be specifically because of the cargo bay. Now I actually don't think the cargo bay doors are physics enabled. I think we could probably fly with them open, but it looks stupid. Therefore, no. Hey, Tiaz, thanks for the sub. Thanks for that Twitch Prime. So, if we open this, grab that. Oh, right. Close here. I keep waiting for like the little pop-up menu like it used to be. So instead, if we go and throw... And we're adding weight, but now if I do this, clip you inside so you don't look dumb. And I think we can, if we can access the part manager while we're in flight, we should be able to find that air intake. Arrow? Occluded. Oh my! We don't get the cheat! With the air intakes. Now, for the air intakes, I actually don't know 100% if you can cheat the air intakes in KSP1. Although I suspect you can. So that's very interesting. I wonder if it can be partially occluded or not. Like, what happens now? I have to go to the parts manager now for structural and find this. Can I select it from here? Ooh. It highlights. Oh, while highlighted, if we hit delete? No. Now, I can get rid of the shock cone that doesn't do anything. But I'm not sure I can get rid of that structural container without actually going and rebuilding things. Well, that's okay. We brought it on ourselves. We have extra weight in here that we don't really want. I should have made a save before I tried to cheat the shock cone. Can you clip the camera inside? Can I? I don't know what I'm selecting here. Is it in the front part? Where? No, it's back. Not that. Isn't it right here? Yeah, I'm not sure I can see it. Oh well. Can you put an air intake? No, we're just gonna go with the 2 air intakes. I think we were pretty good last time. We just ran out of oxidizer. Now we have more. Shrink the outer part so it breaks through the surface. I know, because I think it'll subscale everything. I don't even think we needed more speed. I think we're actually fine. I just didn't realize we were already going to space. Hey, maybe if it... Fine. Watch me do a tail strike this time after the last time worked out so well. Whoa, don't. Gear up, gear up, gear up. Turn SAS on. Now that we're off the ground, it's actually useful. And it would be really nice to follow an easterly course. There we go. Okay. So we know we were crossing just after 20,000 meters altitude is when our engines flamed out. Just try to bring us a little more to the east. Get the wagging tail. Climbing well. Although, oh, no, we're not climbing as fast as last time here. Let's even out just to give us a speed kick in and let our rapier engines power up. Okay, we need to build some speed. Last time, weren't we climbing at like Mach 2? Alright, now I'm feeling better. Speed is increasing, and we're climbing at the same time. Rapier power keeps going up. Yeah, we could try to park ourselves at, just under 20k, and see if going horizontally, if we can build more speed. Alright, that's Mach 2. I said we're not climbing fast, but the faster we go, the faster we then start to climb. Rapier engines are still gaining thrust, although not much more now. Speed's going up, altitude's going up. What's happened to the music? Are you not hearing the music anymore? Losing thrust now. Speed's still going up. Just pitch down a little bit. Go 10 degrees. Speed still going up. Yeah, the thrust loss makes sense because we are getting thinner atmosphere right now, but we're still accelerating. So our thrust is still in a good spot. 15K. Maybe I'll try to level out around here and see what that does for us. Speed still building. We're still climbing some, but yeah, apoapsis is still at 15. Right now we're not going up anymore. Yeah, losing thrust, huh? Come on. I do wish I had, like, my autopilot type commands at this point. Why are you trying to roll over to the left? There we go. Thrust rebuilding. Even though we are losing some speed right now. Oh, we're still... No, we're descending, actually. Oh shit, yeah, the liquid fuel's nearly out. Oh! And then that happened. Ah! No! Why? And yeah, we have not enough liquid fuel at all. So things worked much better last time. What did we do differently? I mean, here we didn't bring as much pure liquid fuel. So we might need some extra tanks. But yeah, that pitch up, it's very dangerous. There's like some angle at which it's not happy. Princey, thank you. A moment, take a look, fast forward, crazy kids. Oh, no, I mean, there's been like 30 posts on the Reddit of, yeah, you can take off and somehow glitch and bring the entire space center with you into space. Someone landed on like Minmus. I don't want to drop tanks. The whole thing is I want this to be a single stage to orbit. It'd be nice to make this be like the last tank to be used. I don't think there's like fueling priorities in this. Okay, I'm not going to do the level out. Last time we didn't do the level out. It was basically a constant climb. We switched the front tank for a rocket fuel tank. Yeah, but it's the opposite. We need more liquid fuel. And we did switch this front one to a rocket fuel tank. So now we have two, this one here and this one here are pure liquid fuel. Yeah, lift is below the center or behind the center of mass. Possibly too much. It might be a little too nose heavy. Although generally that's kind of okay and what we want. Like we want it nose heavy, but again, maybe too nose heavy. And it's hard to tell what's going to happen. We'd have to empty every fuel tank and see how it feels once it's empty here. There. Let's do something like this. All right there, bouncy, bouncy. Oh! The center of mass is closer to the wheels. It really wants to tip back now, which is fine, actually. There we go. No tail strike. Maybe I should enable fine controls for the takeoff and then turn it off afterwards. All right, SAS back on. 10-degree climb. Look at the delta V meters like flip between 20 and 17k back and forth. I guess as some of the air breathing numbers get updated in some weird way. All right. We are now transonic. Or right at it, actually. Sort of do a Mach 1 climb. There you go. Altitude's increasing, speed slowly increasing while increasing... Losing some of the power. That's okay. Turn on caps lock. There we go. Up we go. No shock cone? Oh, for when you go transonic? No. Well, I don't think KSP1 had it. I wonder if FAR has it? Yeah, I don't know. FAR had it. Okay, let's build up some speed here. There we go. Better. Speed increases, which is increasing our thrust. We're actually descending right now. That's okay. Speed's going up, power's going up, so that should fix itself. Fingers crossed. Is this one to go? So yeah, not only are space planes hard to design, but the flight profile is so much harder to sort out. So much harder. I gotta say, the movie Maverick does a really good job of showing that with the Dark Star. These aren't spoilers. This is like what happens in the like first 10 minutes of the movie. But it's sort of a multi-phase flight to build speed. And there's actually a really good, it's clearly like a cross-movie promotion thing with Microsoft Flight Simulator. But in Microsoft Flight Simulator, there is the Top Gun Maverick like DLC, but it's free. That adds a Dark Star. But the process for trying to get to Mach 10 if you can, is this whole crazy thing where you climb to a thing, you invert, then do a dive to build some extra speed, to kick the engines into another mode. It's a whole thing. Alright. Mach 3. Let's see what we can do to keep climbing at Mach 3 here. God damn you, plane. There you go. Speed's still increasing right now. While we climb. I'm worried that we're not climbing quickly enough. Okay, I'm just going to keep this going. I'm not going to level off. When we hit about 20, I'm going to switch the engines to the other mode. Because, yeah, as these engines are they're starting to suffocate a little bit from the thinner air. The Mach info is not there. I'm just sort of vaguely doing math here, which I'm bad at. Okay. 19,000 meters. 20. We're going to get a flame out any second. Yeah, they're already slower. If I switch now, because I say, we get 180 kilonewtons out of the rocket mode. So when we start to go below 180 kilonewtons, we could consider making the swap, but it probably makes sense to have it a little bit more. Delta V is dropping so fast. Watching the apoapsis. 35. God damn it, we're running out of fuel. Dang it! What? What? But why? But why? Yeah, maybe the thing is just once we get to below 180 kilonewtons, activate the closed loop and pitch up to 45 degrees. It could be the internal part. I just don't know if we can find it. I don't remember where it is. I think it's attached to this back part. I wish we could select the part from... Oh, no, it's there. Oh, hold on. There you go. We found it. Now, it could be the internal clipping cause issues. I don't want to drop fuel tanks. And what I'll do is I'm going to get rid of the ballast weight right now for our flight test. Although, is that going to do weird things to our center of mass? No, we're good. No, I don't want fuel tanks to be jettisoned. That's the whole point, is I don't want that. I wonder if we could do something with the wings. I wonder if we could actually shorten the wings a little bit. Save some weight. Oops, damn it. And if I undo here, okay, good. Right, I keep remembering I have to click the wrench here. And the wheels do just look like they're hanging out in the middle of nowhere now. We could just throw in a little bit more fuel. I mean, at some point you got to worry about your weight. Now, what's interesting is if we did add, say, another pair of fuel tanks here, or maybe even these, we could go and add more of the shock air intakes. Now, whether or not this actually improves the situation, though, is a big question mark. Because it could be making things worse with extra weight. That was weird. Now, it doesn't matter. And in fact, this is just going to add extra weight, but this looks stupid. And therefore, I hate it. There. I like to put the shot cones on the back too because they look fast. What would be great is if this this could hold fuel, this nose cone, because we're literally just adding weight to make it look better. They don't do anything. All right. This might be the final go for the space plane, and then we try something else. Oh! The center of mass is awfully close to these rear wheels here. I wonder if there's an option to, like, not start with SAS on, which is normally not what you want for your rockets. Oh my god, my lights are now hanging in the middle of nowhere because they didn't, they just kept their old position. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, let me put on caps lock for fine movement on the runway here. I think that is actually going to be much better. Pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. Oh, you know what? My control surfaces, because I shortened my wings. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, there we go. All right. No, just turn off the caps lock. It's fine. You're up. There we go. All right, we're fine. Hello, tower. The plane is definitely much heavier. Although I guess a lot of that is just fuel load, which will go down over time. Yeah, I asked about buzzing the tower, but they told me the pattern was full. I thought it was rude. It's definitely not building up speed like it was. But speed's going up, altitude's going up. Boy, what I wouldn't give for a trim control. Jeez. There we go. Let's increase rate of climb here. Can you crash the entire plane when lights are not part of the plane? At what point do we just build a single-stage rocket with wheels? Well, I mean, the horizontal takeoff of a rocket's not going to be very helpful. Because the whole thing with the rocket is... Because the thing to get into orbit is it's not so much about going up. It's about going sideways very quickly. That's the core part of getting orbital, right? If you just want to reach space, then you shoot straight up. If you want to go orbital, you have to go pretty sideways. But the thing with launching a rocket sideways is you spend a lot of time in the thick air, which is just hurting you. With the space plane, we're taking advantage of the thick air to produce lift for us, so it compensates for that. Yeah, the delta V calculations are super twitchy. All right, so now I'm going to nose down a little bit. Now that we're getting to thinner air, we should be able to build up our horizontal speed a lot more, or just our airspeed in general a lot more. Let's do that. We'll go transonic, theoretically. Or not. Wow. And we might just be way heavier than we used to be. There you go. Dipping down to generate some extra thrust here. Just trying to maintain positive speed. Like a positive speed delta. While also increasing our thrust here. Fine-tune mode. Slowly try to throw some pitch up. No, it can't do it without within caps lock mode. And then it just wants to flip. Oh, did you see some flex here with some of these parts? Ah! No! Dang it. Okay. Let's rebuild our speed. Oh my god, these graphics. So, why did our very first flight go so well, and then everything else that we tried to do to improve things made things worse? All right, rebuilding the Rapier engines. Like, literally the first thing we did was going to space. In fact, we went to space so well, we were overshooting space. No, we removed the extra weight. And the thing is, chat is always constantly screaming for build more speed level versus climb more. So unfortunately, there's no way to parse like which part of chat is correct for this. Well, we should probably just revert to launch because we've lost some fuel here. Oh no, okay. The wing changes are definitely bad. Because we are definitely ending up with considerably more desire to roll like this. Mm-hmm. We might need more lift again with the extra weight. I'm not convinced that this is actually helping. I'm tempted to remove these. I think I will. I do like, someone said about adding canards. I actually do like that quite a lot. Which, would they even be as control surfaces? I guess they would be. Although, I'm going to suggest quite small. Don't forget to fix the light. Oh, the one's dangling? Yeah, well now they're back, at least physically touching the wing. I'm not going to adjust the lights every time. Yeah, I think we do have to stay vertical or horizontal a little bit more. I think we do have to build up more Mach speed on the ground. Or closer. All right, could you stop bouncing? Also, look at this flex over here. I think we might need some duct tape over here. I think we might need some struts, because we're getting flex on these components, which is really weird to me. Yeah, certainly a lot easier to pitch up with these canards. Fun to see so many moving parts, though. Okay, why are we not... Come on, build some speed, buddy. Jeez. Yeah, there's no auto strut. Feels like we're taking off even slower. Actually, it feels like my frame rates have gotten worse. Game might be due for a reboot. Which might also be part of the reason that it, like, randomly exploded. The second we ran out of fuel, it exploded. It was weird. Don't know why that was the case. Okay, I'm just going to keep this angle and keep trying to build speed. May need to pitch down a little bit. It does feel really draggy, potentially with the bigger wings here. It might be too draggy. Okay, there we go. We've broken the speed of sound. Want to go more than 450 before pulling up? All right, we'll give that a try. Speed's not climbing much right now, but our rapiers are gaining power. We're basically in level flight, like we're climbing, but barely. There you go. Rapier power is still going up. We are gaining speed, which is making them better. We're still climbing slowly. I'm hoping we don't burn off too much of our speed at the low atmosphere here, low altitude, but caps lock is on. Hey, on my keyboard, the light for the caps lock is sort of hidden behind the numpad. I have to, like, scrooge forward to see if it's enabled or not. All right, power is still climbing. I'm doing a little bit of back pressure. With caps lock on, I'm just holding down S here for back pressure. Yeah, this is a SteelSeries keyboard, actually. The Logitech keyboard, which is listed in my my thing down below, is inaccurate, I believe. I have to update that. All right. Power is still building. Speed's building. While being much more level than before. I might want to pitch up more now. Like, just... I need something in between caps lock being on and not being on. Okay, I think this is slightly more pitch than we had. Really would like some slightly tighter range of controls here. Okay, we are losing power on our engines, although speed's still going up. And I mean, we're closing in Like Mach 2.5 here. Half of our liquid fuel is gone. Here's the thing. I feel like the liquid fuel is being burned off faster in this than it used to feel, but I might be wrong about that. I wonder if we should be pitching up more now. This is me holding full back pressure with the caps lock on. The thing is, we actually don't... We pack a... I guess... Hold on. This was a, this is a meth lock. Maybe these should have been some extra liquid fuel or something, but we'll see. Okay. Whoa! Why'd you go sideways all of a sudden? That might have been SAS doing something really weird. I don't know what jerked sideways. When I turned off caps lock and I just pitched up? Okay. We are at the transition point here. Again, as it drops just a little bit below 180, we'll turn on, we'll do the mode cycle and we'll pitch up. Okay. Mode switch. And we will now pitch up. Oh my god, why does it keep jerking sideways? I don't like that part. Okay, surface velocity is kind of maintaining itself. At this point, we're probably getting we're getting considerably reduced aerodynamics. Okay, apoapsis is 40. Fuel's going down. Yeah, we're getting wiggle in the engines. We may just need a lot of space tape. I'm gonna turn off the engine and worried about explosion. Yeah, we have way too much oxidizer. We need more liquid fuel. Okay, but we are very close. So that's the imbalance now. So our first time through, we packed too much liquid fuel, but since then we've added too many of the mixed tanks. This is a good Ascent profile though, and we have tons of ox, so we can clearly do a bunch of fuel replacement. It would be really nice, and you could do that with some of the mods in KSP1 with some of the procedural tanks and things like that. It'd be nice to keep the tanks that we've got, but just switch them over to pure liquid fuel. There's 20% methane, 80% LOX in KSP2. In KSP1, I think it was 40-60. Wait, really? So are the fuel ratios are just different? Yeah, what I'm going to do is remove this. Now, I'm worried that this is going to lead to too much liquid fuel. I guess I have to put a pair of these. But there we go. We're basically the exact same thing. But these outer tanks used to be a mix and are now pure liquid fuel. No. Yeah, center mass is currently fine. Even, which is weird, with the backflip, like, I need to, like, keep the fuel in here until the very end. Because I'm worried that as it's burning everything equally, our center of mass is moving backwards, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, the tape, thank you, yeah. Let's get some struts in here. Because this engine wobble is weird. What? What the hell is going on there? Click here. Good. Click there. Good, okay. That was really bizarre. We'll also strut you up over here. I'm thinking the long engines here, I might do a strut from the front of them as well to... I guess, does it not let you clip through parts maybe with the space tape? Maybe that's why it's giving me the red indicator. I'm wondering about strutting the wings as well. We're probably okay. Now, the other thing I'm wondering about is, should we go... Get off my cursor. Should I change the control limits on some of these as well? No, I think I'll leave them. Okay, and let's... We'll turn off the auto friction. Maybe leave a static friction amount in here and see if that helps with things going sideways on Launchpad. We'll just set it to 0.5 and see what that happens. If we end up sliding off, then we'll tune that value. Yeah, there's no auto strut right now. SAS likes to go bonkers right away. Let's let the plane settle a tiny bit. Okay. Whoa! I nosed down there to try to encourage it to settle, and it went sideways. I don't know why it keeps doing that. There's something going on that when I'm just adding pure W or pure S, it throws in a big yaw. I don't know if one of the control schemes or something is weirdly linked. Oh, shit. My finger slipped. I let go of the S for a second. After raising the gear. Could have let myself get up a little higher before I did that, but my finger slipped. That was entirely due to shaky hands. Don't do that, SAS! No, dude! Oh my god. SAS, why? It's fine. Oh, see, why is it going sideways? I need to immediately, as soon as it loads, tap the T button. So SAS doesn't start like... Well, what I should do is probably just move the rear wheels just like a centimeter back. Okay, turn off SAS. There we go. Plane, can I turn off like the suspension on the front or something? I think it's too extreme. Let's drop the spring strength. There we go. There we go. All right. Be less bouncy. So, okay, I'm going to hit W here. See? What? It's jerking in response to my vertical inputs. And it was doing that in flight as well. SAS isn't even on, so why is it doing that? I can't think of a good reason it should be doing that. And I'm open to the idea that I've made a mistake in the design, but... That does seem really weird. Okay, now I can turn SAS on. There we go, we got about 8 degrees pitch here. I just put in a little bit of roll here and it's nosing down. Why is it doing that? Now that was with SAS on, so it might have been recalculating something in an odd way, but let me turn caps lock on here. I'm just holding back pressure with caps lock on. We're actually descending a little, although our speed's growing, so I suspect that'll get arrested soon. Did I change the pitch angle only one wing? No, the wings were linked, so I changed the limiter on one of them. Unless there was something else that happened as well. Okay, there we go. Now we're climbing. We haven't changed our attitude, but we are now climbing because we have more speed, therefore our wings are generating more lift. And there we go. We're supersonic now, theoretically. Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. So all I'm doing, I've got caps lock turned on, and I'm just holding S. Yeah, and I don't know if there's a way to change, maybe there's an option for it. Maybe it's something you can change config file. When the fine control mode is on, I think I don't want it to be as fine as it is. Okay, we can turn off, pitch up a little bit here. There we go. like we're accelerating as quickly as last time. Is the front wing inverted? The canard? No. I don't know if this is the one. Okay. 2,000 meters. Let's level out a little bit to let the speed grow now. I think we did want to get out of the thicker air a little bit more. But now, there you go. Relatively level. It's dropping slightly, but barely so. Rapier power is growing, and we are accelerating. And the more we accelerate, the more we'll accelerate. Because the more we accelerate, the more the rapier power we'll get. Once it crosses about 300 kilonewtons, it seems to really kick in aggressively here. There you go. Our altitude is now leveling off and climbing. Even though we haven't changed attitude, again, we're going faster, so our wings are generating more lift. Rapier power is increasing. Surface velocity is increasing. Okay.
It's whiskey and chocolate.
Ooh, more whiskey and chocolate. Hey, the Dreyfus! Thank you! Always enjoy the UpTubs. Glad I get to catch a business stream. Well, thank you very much. Control from here set weird? I don't know, maybe. There you go. There's the cloud layer. And yeah, we're about Mach 1.5, maybe a little higher than that right now. Engine power is increasing. Climb is good. Again, even though we've got the exact same angle on the nav ball. Power continues to increase. Okay. I'm going to pitch up. I'm going to try to hit about 10% here. Oh god, that's so awkward. Okay, let me go to caps lock mode and just back pressure. It's barely doing anything, but... yeah, with control, with caps lock on, it's too fine. Yeah, the cloud artifacts are incredibly bizarre. Alright, we're climbing, so is the speed. Rapier power is decreasing a little bit now, but so far I think that's fine. If our airspeed is increasing while we're in a climb, I'm feeling pretty good about it. RimWorld Vanilla Factions Expanded Empire mod just dropped. Huh. Jaggies almost look like upscaling artifacts? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Okay. Actually, speed is climbing faster, so our engines aren't pushing quite as much. Like, their thrust is decreasing, but we're getting to thinner air, so there's less drag. So the overall outcome is that we continue to accelerate even as we climb. Crossing 10,000 meters. And again, my apologies if I'm swapping feet and meters. Just habit from flight sims. I'm just going to keep this climb profile. I'm not going to do anything. And again, when our thrust drops a little bit below 180 kilonewtons, we'll swap engine modes. We brought more liquid fuel this time. So then hopefully we didn't bring so much that we run out of oxidizer. And balancing the two is really tricksy. Okay, we are still accelerating. Yeah, SSTO stands for single stage to orbit. The idea being we don't dump anything. We don't dump SRBs, we don't dump fuel tanks. The entire thing aims to be reusable. Got a bit of a roll, probably because our aero surfaces aren't really doing anything anymore. Okay. He's going to, okay, and we're about the transition point. We're still accelerating now, so I'm going to delay swapping modes for a little bit longer. All right, let's go. Trying to pitch up. Jesus. Why plane? Why? Why? Okay. Level. Level. Thank you. Okay, let's try to pitch up some more, maybe. Okay, I'm going to turn off caps lock again. And hopefully it doesn't randomly go sideways. What the? You know... maybe I need more reaction wheels here. So I know they're weaker than they used to be. There we go. There we go. There we go. So try to pitch up. Don't go sideways. What are you doing, plane? Okay. We have 262 meters per second delta V remaining, and we are currently going to space. Here, you just hold prograde. Yeah. Wiggle your wings at me, that's fine. We're not really going orbital. It's fairly flat, though. Hey, Mordrodiking, thank you for the raid! I hate that we're on the dark side. I hate that, like, how dark it is, although that's pretty cool looking. Shot. Okay, I mean, we're bleeding off a little bit of apoapsis because we're still technically in the atmosphere right now. So there's a little bit of drag, although not much. At above 50,000 meters, there's not much left over. I like this as a little nebula over there, too. You know what? Maybe I should just have a single horizontal back fin. It's possible that the V-fin configuration gets the direction system a little confused. That's not a bad point. Also, because we have the canards now, which are giving us a little bit more vertical authority, we really don't need the vertical components of the V backwing the same way. I think we might go for a single tail fin. But hey, we are going to space at least. Don't you need 34? Well, that's the delta V. Yeah, it keeps telling me that our solar panels aren't working right now because it's night. Like, I know, we don't need a warning for that. I'm hoping that becomes configurable. Or remove the pitch control from there, yeah. But I think what I'll probably do is actually replace it with a single one. It'll shed a little bit of weight, and I think overall will do much better things for us. So we're 1 minute to apoapsis. It's not single stage to orbit, but it's getting damned close. And again, we had that one launch that hit like 190 apoapsis without realizing it. Oh, we're in space. So if I turn this on... Yeah, I can't quite get orbital. That's all of our fuel now. It's not an orbit. We'll re-enter, but... we can land, we've got our wings, there's heat's not being simulated right now, so we don't have to worry about that. Because that's the other thing with these planes. Coming in at the right angle for re-entry is super tricky. Because if you're coming in too straight, you're going to come in way too much speed and burn up. So you kind of want to come in at somewhat of an angle, so the body of the plane is giving you some aero braking. But finding the right angle is like super hard. So now we had too much liquid fuel and not enough oxidizer, which actually might have been a sign that maybe I could have kept building up a little bit more speed in air breathing mode first, which is likely true. But you know what, the changeover point of view. Okay, we need to check the ratio of methane to oxidizer in the regular rocket tanks. Whatever that ratio is, that actually might be a good sign of that's when we switch over. If we have more liquid fuel than we need for the oxidizer amount, what we kind of want to do is keep burning in air breathing mode for a little bit longer if we can. Because it means we can get a little bit more value out of that. Plane doesn't have a heat shield, heat's not simulated. But the thing with the space planes is that they don't need the heat shield in theory, because first of all, there's no heat shield that can cover the whole bed of these planes. But because you can control a lot about your entry by pitching up, pitching down in the right way, theoretically you control the heat that's being generated from compression. It's not friction with the air, by the way. It's compression of the air that generates heat. The problem is, and yeah, I mean, we need some like liquid plus oxidizer to return. So yeah, I think I'm going to be happier with this just set to 1. Move the light right back there. Hey, Firkin, thank you very much for the sub. So I think that'll make our life a tiny bit easier. I think the system will be less confused about things. I wonder if that could be made a little smaller as well. I don't think we need quite that strong a rudder. Now, the other thing I want to do is bring my wheels up or back just a tiny amount, just to avoid the SAS one to backflip our plane on the runway. Just one notch. I'm going to call that good enough. But yeah, it's such a challenge. I don't know how to balance the fuel tanks. No, we not lightning gunner. The entire point, or lightning runner. The entire point of this plane is not to have two stages. We're trying to build a single stage to orbit, which again is mostly just an exercise in like having fun. It's not that useful in Kerbal. I mean, there's a reason we don't use single stage to orbit planes in real life. They're hard to make and not that useful because the payload that they can carry is kind of minimal. But the hope is that you get to reuse the whole thing, and it's pretty fun. I think it's finding the sweet spot for changing the mode. That's probably a part of it too. So we could have burned in liquid fuel a little bit more this time, which means I can spend more time during the flight mode. Okay, this is going to be the final attempt, and then we'll do something different after that. Yeah, we probably swapped too early last time. We may have been able to not climb as quickly as well. It'll also be interesting to see if... Okay, here, I'm going to hit W to nose down. Oh, no, it still wants to shoot sideways. Maybe when I'm nosing down, it's putting too much pressure on the front wheel, and maybe we can lower the friction number on that a little bit more. Or a lot more. Maybe we set it to 0. I mean, overall, it's fine. As long as I'm not nosing down on the runway, it doesn't randomly go sideways. The question will be if it still randomly goes sideways in the air when I do pitch up and pitch down. We got rid of the V-wing, the V-tail, in the hope that that was part of the issue. Go, gear up. But we don't actually know. Oh, I still had SAS on. Although the SAS was no longer glitchy. I think getting rid of the V-tail made the SAS understand what the hell it's supposed to do. Okay, I still want a kind of a slow climb over here. I realize we're not gaining much speed. Tap, 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 tap. With control, I wasn't doing quite enough. But speed is going up, and yeah, the faster our speed increases, the faster our speed will increase because the engine air intake. So any positive rate is a really good sign. Oh, we're dipping down a little. There we go. There we go. Engines are getting more and more powerful. Approaching Mach 1. These engines, I think, have some gimbling, but not much. Okay, caps lock mode is on. Oh, no. Caps lock mode's got to go off so I can keep the nose up. This is where I like something like MechJeb, where I can just tell the SAS, maintain 5 degrees pitch. Since we don't have an analog control stick, so I'm having to fake it by doing the tap, 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 tap thing here. Okay. Speed's increasing slowly. Oh, no, power's going down. Now let's nose down a little. There we go. Speed is increasing while our altitude is increasing. And the rapier power is good. Okay. You can trim with left alt plus WASD? Really? Huh. Does anyone know if joystick support is in? Someone asked about it yesterday in chat, and I didn't know the answer. Don't use nose attach intakes, use radial, the small ones. Is there a radial attachment that works above Mach 5? Because I thought all the air intakes we looked at went to 10% efficiency. by Mach 5, which would be no good. You can use your controller, it can't reassign axis. Alright. We're climbing, speed is increasing, that's all looking really good. So the other thing is, and this is a little bit awkward, when I'm in air breathing mode, I actually can't get a stat on our oxidizer. So if we wanted to make the conversion at the correct ratio, how could we do that? I mean, I could look at individual... No, I can't even look at individual fuel tank numbers. Wow, okay. That's really disappointing. And I was going to say, and it wouldn't be that helpful anyway, because we have to take into account the ones that are pure methane as well. I guess the thing is, if we could set fuel flow priority, we could fuel flow priority out of the pure methane ones first, because then we'd get a good sign. Once we start losing liquid fuel from the mixed tanks, then we know that we are at the crossover point or whatever. Yeah, this is super awkward. I guess I can look at the total liquid fuel. If I knew the total oxidizer, which I can know in the VAB, then we could just say when the liquid fuel on this meter reaches blank, then that's when we do the crossover. There's another window for fuel to view amounts. Because, I mean, we've got resources, the parts manager, flight report, resource manager. Oh. Okay, well... Oh yeah, but I don't know the ratios. Well, we can get the aux mount there. Oh, you can also transfer from there. I should be flying the plane, don't you think? Although, we're climbing and speed is increasing. Anyway, what? Let's go level off here. We'll try to build a little bit more speed in level flight right here. Although the rapiers are still losing efficiency. Oh no, let's see what happens. Since we do know we still have more liquid fuel than we need, we can afford to do this. As long as the speed is climbing, that's a pretty good sign. Although it's not climbing much. Should have below 3 tons methane. That's okay, yeah? Yeah, I agree. I think climbing more is right. And try to go back to like 5 degrees pitch here. Caps lock on? No. Caps lock on, basically nothing happens. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap, tap. I have no idea what... I have not seen over the edge. I don't know anything about it. Sorry. Okay. So we're back to accelerating, I think, as the air gets a little thinner up here. Which is good. That's the direction we're going to go in. Although we are losing more rapier power too. I don't think larger tailpiece. I don't think that's what we want. It's because we just shrunk it down, and we were getting the same issues where it sort of has a bit of a natural roll. Okay, speed's once again going up while we're climbing. That's a good sign. It's not going up much. But still in the right direction. I hate that we get on like the dark side of Kerbal here. Okay, we're gonna keep using this, even though now we would get more power by switching modes, but we're still trying to take advantage of the liquid fuel. Is 3 correct? Is that really where we're gonna look for the liquid fuel? Oh, we're gonna get a flame out soon. Let me level out a little bit so we don't flame out of air breathing mode. Especially... Oh, we're not actually increasing speed anymore. Also, the plane... There we go. I guess I can keep you locked to prograde right now. That actually is probably going to be fairly helpful. There you go. Speed increasing, although we are sinking. Yeah, we're not gaining speed anymore. Okay. I'm gonna go and pitch up. And it keeps wanting to drift to the left. What the heck? But now it's drifting to the right. We did much better last time. Okay. Pitch up, 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 up. No! You fucker! Yeah, well, now it's time to change engines, which is fine, but no. Dang it. Which, now, I mean, we air braked by that. Ah! Oh. Do we make the canards bigger? Do we make the tail fin bigger? Maybe we just throw some reaction wheels, because here's the thing. When we're in the higher atmosphere like that, there is less air, which means our control surfaces aren't working as well. So we could go with bigger control surfaces, but of course that's going to add a lot of weight, not to mention a crap ton of drag, which is bad. So yeah, where are the reaction wheels hiding in the game here? Where... They're non-command control vehicles, unless... Oh, wait. No, these are probes. Although I guess the probes do come with reaction wheels. Or... No, they don't. These do. Do they have pure reaction wheels? Check the middle engine position. I mean, it's centered. That's not the issue. Utilities? There we go. Although, ooh, awkwardly, they don't have one that meets things. Although, that's a tiny reaction wheel. I could throw a couple of those in. Well, I could put it inside. So I don't know. You know what? I don't think the build speed. I don't think the building speed at like 15 kilometers is working out. And I don't know if we can build more speed at like under 10k. Maybe. Middle engine thrust can be off axis from CG, causing control issues. I mean, maybe. I don't know if I want to do more wing surface. I'm just worried. I think I will enlarge the canards though. I think we can afford to have them be a little bit bigger. Might help to fight that excessive pitch up that happens. But I think the reaction wheels will be very helpful, because I think it's most of that. I think it's mostly the air's really thin. Or they're radial... Okay, so to address the air intake things, there are radial air intakes, but... well, there's one, actually. But you can see, once we get past Mach 1, it loses efficiency like crazy. The only part in here that doesn't lose efficiency at super high speeds is the shot cone intake, which is there. And I'm not actually convinced we need these intakes. In fact, I'm a little bit worried that things got worse when we added these in. Yeah, maybe we'll go ahead and make the tail a little bit bigger again. Oh, and let's try... What happens if this is set to, like, no friction? Oh, I thought we set it to half. I'll set it to, like, 0.1. Just a tiny bit on the front wheel. Remove the delta wings from yaw control. Because, yeah, they should just be pitch and roll. Oh, shit. Yeah, just in case. There it is. We'll make sure that these get cleaned up. Maybe they're getting confused about things. Actually, the canards should really just be pitch, not even a roll. And the wings are mostly going to be roll, but they can also be pitch. I don't think rotational torque is a thing in here. So I brought the friction down way off. Just saying no friction. Okay. I mean, I don't understand the physics of it, but sure. We'll set it to no friction. It feels like that should be wrong, but it does, at the same time, sound like something we did in KSP1, and it did work, even though it feels like it shouldn't. Okay, we're back to bouncy bouncy. I am thinking I should probably bring down the spring strength on there in the VAB, so we don't have to deal with this, but... Yeah, ice wheels, like... I don't know how that makes sense, but sure. Basically, KSP uses it as a pivot point if it has any friction value. Okay, so I'm not putting any inputs right now. We are drifting a little to the left, but... Okay. SAS back on. We got 10 degrees pitch right now, which feels pretty good. Surface speed is increasing, or airspeed. It would be nice to get an actual airspeed indicator. Well, I mean, or effective airspeed indicator. Press review version of the game? Julia Fighting. This KSP2 is out. I mean, in early access. And it's got plenty of issues. Admit it, we've avoided most of the actual issues of the game here by doing our SSTO stuff today. All right, climb is gone, is going. Speed is increasing. We're going directly east here on this takeoff this time, which is really handy because the world is rotating eastward, so that's the direction you really want to aim for to go into orbit whenever possible. So same thing, when you take off on a rocket, your gravity turn, you're always trying to turn to the east, because that's the direction that things are properly going here. Oh yeah, can I move this? Hey, there we go. Cool! In our Mach number now. Very handy. Interesting. I wonder how many of these numbers are helpful. Now I have to pitch down because we're not really increasing our speed anymore. Let's go to about 5 degrees. There we go. Spud Stick, hey, thanks for the sub. Yeah, angle attack is pretty nice. Now that's not actually our attitude on the nav ball here, which I guess makes sense. All right, all of our rates are positive right now. That's what we like to see. What's the side slip number? Why is it going from negative degrees to crossing over to positive degrees? We actually just... like strafing? Total lift is kind of steady. Total drag, we can see those numbers. Actually, the total drag is kind of nice because then we can actually compare as we change our wing layouts. Now you're going to have to compare it at the same altitude and at the same velocity. All right, all numbers are still positive. Altitude climbing, speed climbing, even the thrust is climbing. Tail fin needs to be taller to counter side slip at higher altitude speed. Right now everything's good. We're still basically pinned on east with all numbers going up. So there is still a question. There is a point which you do want to level out and build more speed. Clearly 15k was way too much. I think even 10k might be kind of at a bit of a limit. I'm wondering about leveling out a little bit around 8k. All I did is hit W right there. And everything just went crazy. Something is wrong. Something is wrong with the inputs. We keep seeing it where it does a crazy jerk somewhere, which is so bizarre. The W should just have done a little bit of a wing change, or of the ailerons and the canards, and that's it. No idea why it just decides to jerk sideways like that. So we are running into some bugs. A couple of thruster ones repaired. Oh, that's kind of nice, yeah. We're still climbing in a way that I wasn't actually looking to do here. There we go. There we go. About level. We're dipping down a little bit, but now the speed is building again. Although, no, we're losing thrust and not really gaining speed here. That's weird. Why would this be... Why would our thrust be descending? Air climbing might be an air intake. Well, we should do a test, actually, where we remove the air intakes here. Is there an aero overlay like there used to be? Because I wonder what the, like, aerodynamics cross-section of this thruster is compared to a nose cone. Like, what the effective aero cost is. And I don't know that we need the quad air intakes. Honestly, I think we did just as much with just the paired air intakes. Radial small ones are the only ones that work. They work well beyond what they say. Oh, really? Wait, the intakes you're using are bugged? Also, do these intakes close? Right. I forget. Normally your one key, you want to also close these intakes because that reduces their drag. Bug means they have a huge amount of drag. So they have a bunch of drag in as of themselves. And if the radial engines, if they actually do their full air intake the entire time, while also have less drag. So maybe is the problem the whole time just that these cones are bad? Okay, see, I want to close these. Huh. No, why are you going sideways? Okay, it only happens when I hit W. It's not when I hit S. Oh my god. All I'm doing is hitting W, and the thing is... Oh my god. S? No, why are you jerking to the left? You see that again? Okay, I'm gonna pull to the right. I'm gonna W down. Okay, now we're okay. Every now and again when I hit W, the whole thing just jerks to the left. I don't know why. Alright, this is gonna be our last slide of this because something's clearly not right. On the other hand, this is gonna be our last flight because we're gonna have made it. Our apoapsis is now space. We still have over 1,000 delta V. Tailfin's trying to be helpful. And the thing is, I feel like it happens even when my SAS isn't on. I don't think SAS is exclusively to blame here. So people keep saying that, and like you're not centered. Like the engines they're centered. Like everything's snapped to centered. People are saying, oh, the center engine's not centered. I mean, the graphic for it is sort of turned. That might be contributing to things. I mean, rotationally, but I think that's just a visual thing. Not sure that's how they work. Thing about rotation, not alignment. Fucking with the gimbling. I mean, it should be calculating that on the fly, but I don't know. Anyway, oh, you should absolutely be locked prograde right now. Time to Apoapsis is kind of static right now, which is a sign that we haven't burned too early. Well, maybe a little too early, because we do want it to descend. Oh, nah, now it's increasing, which is not what we want. So we want to do a prograde burn while our Apoapsis is descending, but not too quick. We don't have enough time to plan a maneuver here. I think we can wait a little bit more, because it's still not descending. Now, we should be relatively flat, but I don't know how much more delta V we need to circularize. There you go. Time to Apoapsis is still descending. No, we're not having quite enough, but it's damn close. It's damn close. Let's burn how much we got. There we go. So still short of the circularization, but better. In any case, especially with these like weird input glitches and some question marks about the intakes. Like, that is... Maybe that's why it's sort of... Shit, damn it, I kind of want to do one more with the radial intakes instead. Kind of want to do one more. So, if we remove these, and then just put some nose cones on these, and then, so just use these radial intakes, huh? Make sure that facing the right way. Go. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't load the graphic for the mirrored copy of it. I wonder if 2's enough. You go for a quad arrangement, so we'd still have 4 air intakes. Now, how much air are these supposed to take in is the question. Well, they both list exactly the same, although this is much, much lighter. Dramatically decrease this spring here, so we don't get the same springiness. I don't know if we can find a graph for, like, oxygen starvation. It used to be when you'd right-click on the engine, you would see if they were getting their full oxygen supply. So yeah, some people are saying that the Mach 10% efficiency might be a lie. It might be listed, but doesn't actually work that way. And I guess there's only one way to find out. Wait, why is the friction back to 1? Does this not save? Because we changed it in the VAB, not on the runway the last time, I thought. Also... Can I have more damper? Well, we can take off now, so it doesn't really matter. Positive. Put SAS back on now. F12? We'd have to compare like the total drag. And again, we have to match the speed and altitude to get an accurate count. Yeah, change it in VAB. Another bug for the list. The more bugs you run into, like, the more it's like, I don't want to play those anymore. I was okay, I have a fully, beautifully modded copy of KSB1 ready to go. Just had 9 FPS with those stats? Yeah, I was saying earlier, people have found, like, all kinds of weird inefficiencies in the rendering queue using, like, third-party, like, rendering pipeline debugging tools. And I'm not a master of, like, understanding shaders and things like that, but there are certain things I know about, like, batch jobs and things, and yeah, and in Unity, apparently they use the default plane a prefab object which has 600 triangles in it instead of quads for just flat surfaces. And there are times when you use a plane. Usually it's for like ground hitboxes and things for physics calculations, but yeah, otherwise. So the air number reported here is exactly the same, right? 0.04 as like a max capacity, which theoretically is going to go down as we get to thinner and thinner air. Pitch down a little here. Gain some more speed. Actually, so far it feels like we're having a harder time accelerating here than the last run. See? Not because we're lower, we were still accelerating at this point. But let's climb to like 200 meters and then see what we can do. Yeah, maybe we were doing the acceleration. I thought we were transonic by this point last time though. But maybe not. It's hard to keep track of everything. Wait, the smallest ones? There are other... There's another radial one that I missed, and that's the one to do it. The small ones got me to orbit with 2 of them on 4 rapiers. Oh, shit. Would I recommend the game so far? I would recommend modded KSP1 for a more complete game right now. Right now, it's an interesting little tech demo. Meant those big beam radials. Not the adjustable ramp intakes. No, because that's not radial. These? It's funny because it reports less intake air, right? The shot cones and these radials report 0.1 intake. These report a quarter of that. Home feature, you're saying you got 2 radials? 2 of these to feed 4 engines. So you're saying right now, these 2 should feed my 3 engines perfectly fine? That seems insane. If that's true, that explains why we're having a hard time making anything work. Because that's not how it should work. Oh, no. No, no, no. We keep suffocating. Wait, you're saying they're backwards? Oh, you know why? So I couldn't tell because of the graphics not as obvious. It's because that back part of our engine is actually flipped backwards, so the parts want to naturally go that way. Oh man, I can't even see them. There we go. Okay. And yeah, so it doesn't save these? Maybe I did the adjustment to the spring strength, but not the friction in the VAB. That's possible. Middle mouse part to center on it, thank you. Oh no, it totally doesn't save it. All right. Yep, okay, that's clearly another bug, and that's not a good thing, that one there. No, we're running out of oxygen here. And they're definitely the right way around now, unless they count as being occluded, but no. Maybe once we get up to speed, they'll be fine. It doesn't feel like they should work, though. Oh, I tapped W because I was worried about a tail strike, and again, you can see the whole plane went to the left for some reason. Still wants to go that way. I mean, admittedly, I'm running with SAS on right now, but... Oh, I wonder if this doesn't get saved either. No? Okay. No, of course. I mean, it's still doing yaw. That's the problem. The problem is something wants to go to the left when I tap W, and I don't know why that is. It's interesting that those things were being choked out there, but not anymore. I wish we could get the air intake numbers on this. Oh, well, there you go. We are. And the air take is going up. Oh, yeah, it's pulling in way more than it says it should. Unless that's not a maximum. So in the VAB, it claims that the air intake on this is 0.0025. Oh, thank you, gear. Which this is clearly pulling in more than that. Now, maybe that's supposed to show air intake at rest or something, but... But it seemed to me like that should indicate, like, the maximum air can possibly feed into your engines. Yeah, everything's performing so much better all of a sudden. I think this is glitched. Huh. That don't seem right. It's maybe pulling flaps on one side, like 0.1 second before the other. Maybe, but it's not. See, here's the thing. The left, okay, and it's not happening right now. The shove to the left. Did my engines flame out? For a second there? The shove to the left isn't the elevators being desynced, because then I would expect a random. Yeah, so you must be doing something different with your vessel, homing pigeon. I believe that it worked, but there must have been something else going on. Because yeah, these things like choking out like that is pretty bad. Yeah, they're not. The engines keep suffocating. They do generate less drag, and maybe we could just put a couple more down, but I think we're gonna stop this. I'm gonna load up KSP1 instead. Or we do a different type of mission in KSP2, but all we're doing at this point is hunting more bugs, and I didn't sign up to be a debugger. Disappointing so far, early access or not? No, it's actually appalling. We're avoiding the really bad parts of the game by focusing on this. There's some really terribly broken shit that makes no sense, and there's no excuse for it, early access or not. Like, again, to me, it's like the setting menu here. It's like, oh, my environment prop density. Am I on high or medium, you guys? Like, there you go. Just mouse over things and it fixes it. That's a bad sign. Let's go to KSP1. I don't have a ready mod list for you guys. Boom, boom, boom. Do-do-do. So I'm just going to change our stream info here. Kerbal Space Program 1.
Hey,
Close
Quill,
that.
pay
No,
attention to
don't
the
do the
news.
launcher. Oh, I hate that they added a launcher to the stupid thing. Because, yeah, what I want to do is go into the... go into the file folder. And just run it directly here. Especially since I want to run it in borderless full screen. So I need to pass a command line to it, which you used to be able to add as a parameter in Steam, but not since it goes to a launcher first now. So the only way for me to pass a command line parameter to it is launching the exe directly. Like they literally made KSP1 worse because they added a launcher to it, which is pretty frustrating.